But we really strive to present high-quality puppetry that entertains, educates, and enlightens all audiences.
I see. Well, I was thinking that people are getting a pretty good description of what you do and why you do it, but it might be interesting for them to get a real sense of how it actually works. And I know we're not in the theater right now, but can you give me, maybe Kris, you can start me a little bit, give me first a little sense of the kind of shows you've put on, maybe some examples of the kinds of shows, and then maybe we'll show a little clip after you've talked about some of those examples.
Great. A lot of the puppetry that we present is hand puppets. We work with 20 to 30 puppetry groups in the course of a year.
Okay.
Most of them come back several times. But most of it's hand puppets, and it's the style that many viewers are probably familiar with on Mr. Rogers. You know.
Yes.
It's these kinds of puppets. There's also a lot of mouth puppets, which are the more Muppet style,
Okay.
As well as marionettes, and which are string puppets, and shadow puppets as well, which is a less familiar puppetry form. It's where a two-dimensional puppet is behind a screen and there's a light shining through. And then we have some really fascinating things like object puppetry, where you could take, anything from a cup to an orange to a kitchen utensil and turn it into a puppet.
Yes.
And even things like masks. Masks and puppetry are siblings to each other. So on occasion we'll present mask performers as well.
That's very helpful. I understand you brought a little clip for the viewers to see, just a little sample of what it's like with the audience reaction in it too. Can you tell us what we're going to see?
Yeah, the piece is called JoJo and His Orange Ball. Okay. It's by Paul Vincent Davis. Paul was Mary Churchill's partner and has been with the theater for over 30 years. He served as our artist in residence up until this past year when he retired. And so this is a piece from Paul of a little clown trying to retrieve his ball.
And it's called
JoJo and His Orange Ball.
All right, we're going to show that clip now. Maybe also to add to that clip, I know, Roxy, you have a little friend you brought along to show us. And what's your name?
Oh, my name is Acorn.
Well, it's nice to meet you, Acorn.
Yes, this is, oh, hello there. This is Acorn the squirrel, and we brought him along. He's an example. Oh, I'm an example? Yeah, you're an example. The Acorn is a hand puppet, and he is controlled by a puppeteer who has their hand inside. Like this. Oh wow, things are going on in my brain. And this is Acorn was actually made. He's crocheted and was made
Beautiful.
by Mary Churchill, the founder of Puppet Showplace Theatre.
He's a historical puppet.
Yes, exactly. And Acorn, what did I heard that you were interested in doing a small performance for us today? Eh? Yeah, a little performance. Oh yeah, I wanted to sing a song. Is that okay?
We'd love to have you, Acorn. Yes. Sure.
Okay, here it goes. Keep on the sunny side, always on the sunny side. Keep on the sunny side of life. Oh, that was very good.
Very appropriate for the show. Acorn, you're awesome.
Take a bow.
Oh, I think MTV is next for you, Acorn.
Really?
Definitely.
I've always wanted to be on MTV.
Well, we'll see what we can do.
Okay, good. All right, well, Acorn's going to go back in and
well, thank you. That's so cute. So there's an illustration. It was also interesting what you said before. I was thinking, Kris, about how you can take any object and make it into a puppet, too. Mm-hmm. That's a whole art, too, isn't it?
Exactly, and just to build on what Kris was saying, some of the core things that puppeteers learn just when they're starting out that really make the artistry of their craft and the kind of things that we look for in presenting. There's some really basic elements about puppetry. One of the elements is focus. Oh. And we brought along some peepers as well, and these are just eyes, of course, that fit on the end of your hand, but this is really all that you need to be able to create a character and bring something to life.
That's wonderful.
Thank you. Another thing that's really crucial in puppetry technique is what's called lip sync. And that's, so we know when you're talking, your head doesn't go like this every time you open your mouth. So one of the things that puppeteers need to use is not to talk like this, but to talk like this instead. And there's some basic drills, for example, that if someone wanted to practice this at home, you could have a puppet character start by saying their ABCs. Can you say your ABCs? Yes, I think so. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And there's, little things in the technique of performance that express that. And I guess one other element that is really core about bringing an inanimate object to life, as Kris was saying, I brought with me a spoon puppet, and this is something that
looks like some of my neighbors. Yeah.
If someone wanted to make this at home, this is really just a spoon and a dish towel and stuck in the middle. So if you can sacrifice one, that's fine. And one really core thing that distinguishes an inanimate object from an animate object is that it has breath. So just the distinction between something hanging
How are you doing? Nice to meet you.
Nice.
Very cute. Yeah, that does give people an idea. Where do you draw your audiences from? I'm curious. You mentioned that you've been doing these shows for, and that your puppeteers come from all over sometimes too. Where do you find, as far as you know, the audiences tend to be from?
Yeah, it's fascinating because the Showplace is this tiny little organization in Brookline Village, and it's very community focused, but we draw audiences from throughout New England. We're New England's only nonprofit year-round puppet theater. We have people driving in from Connecticut, Rhode Island, New Hampshire, Vermont, just to come to the Puppet Showplace. So more than 3/4 of our audience live within a 30-mile radius. Now, the majority do come from the greater Boston area, but we also bring in a lot of tourist families who are in Boston for the weekend, and we have our database of visitors is this international roster.
That must be
of
fascinating to look where they all come from.
Right. Exactly, yeah.
Well,